right. Good morning. PTI Nice Daily Show. Happy Thursday morning. I hope your morning is off to a great start. My name is Alan. I'm happy to be your host here on Leadership Thursday, talking all things practice ownership and management, small business leadership, and the like. Happy to serve as the COO of ICE and a faculty member in our fitness athlete division here on Thursday, Leadership Thursday. Also, coincidentally, it's Gut Check Thursday. This week's Gut Check Thursday goes out to the one and only Joyce Brown from CrossFit Fenton. She is turning 70 this Saturday. She actually wrote this hellacious workout that I'm about to describe herself, and I've been told she has practiced it at least 6 times to ensure that she is the fastest one at it and she can beat everybody else in her own birthday workout. So we'll be hitting it here at the gym Saturday morning at 8, but we've put it out there for you all to hit this week as well. It's a long one, longer than we usually like for Gut Check Thursday, but if Joyce is 70 and she can do it, you can do it too. So we have a buy-in of a 400-meter run, and then we have 10 rounds, 7 deadlifts at 135.95. We have 7 pull-ups, 7 wall balls, 7 Russian kettlebell swings at 53.35, 7 weighted dumbbell box step-ups at 35.20, and 7 V-ups. I think that's everything. And then a cash out of a 300-meter run. So I've been told she has practiced it a lot and has gotten it under 30 minutes. So if you're proficient, you can do all those movements unbroken, and you're a pretty fast runner, you'll probably be able to get around 30 to maybe 45 minutes at the top end. So buckle in. If you're going to hit this one, prepare to be working for quite a while. So that is Gut Check Thursday. Other announcements coming your way. If you haven't seen, we have partnered up with Mayhem Athlete and CrossFit Mayhem, as well as Wild Health, to create the Fitness Forward Alliance. And as part of that, you get a month of Mayhem Athlete programming. Every Monday here on our social media feed, we have Mayhem Monday, where we show 2 different workouts, one on one end of the continuum, maybe that sedentary patient that's just beginning their fitness journey, all the way to the other end of the continuum, that person who is ready for 30 minutes of scaled CrossFit or maybe even 60 minutes of a full CrossFit class. You and your patients can get a month free by subscribing to Mayhem Athlete and using the promo code ICEPT. If you have a patient that you think is in mind for some fitness forward primary care, they can use the promo code WHICE, Wild Health ICE, at Wild Health to get 20% off their subscription there. That brings it down to about $100 a month, which is pretty darn cheap for direct access primary care, fitness forward care from a Wild Health physician. And then the ICE sampler, even though it just happened 3 days ago, the ICE sampler for 2023 is already halfway sold out. I'm expecting that will be probably fully sold out by early summer, by June or July. So if you're looking to join us next year down in Nashville, Tennessee, it's all going to be about the neck and head and TMJ, manual therapy, needling, manipulation, loading. We'll talk about the vestibular system with our older adult division, and we'll address migraine and headache from the lens of a primary care physician with our friends from Wild Health. And I'm sure we'll have some of the CrossFit Mayhem crew over to talk to us as well. So make sure you get signed up for the sampler if you're looking to join us down in Nashville, Tennessee. Some courses coming your way in 2 weeks, May 14th and 15th. Jason London will be here at CrossFit Fitness and Health HQ for Rehab of the Injured Runner Live. And then that same weekend, you can catch the older adult crew. We'll have Christina down in Austin, Texas, and we'll have Dustin out in Fountain Valley, California. And then the weekend of 21-22 May, so 2 weekends from now, we'll have Jason again up in Minneapolis, this time for Bike Fit. We'll have Fitness Athlete with Mitch down in Greenville, South Carolina. And we'll have Christina and Alexis out in Bellingham, Washington at Onward Bellingham. And then online courses coming your way. Rehab of the Injured Runner Live starts May 24th. And then your last chance to catch us before the winter for Fitness Athlete Essential Foundations is going to be June 6th. That course is already about 60% full as well. So if you're hoping to join us for that, you need to jump into that within the next couple of weeks before it sells out. So all that aside, let's talk about today's topic. I want to share something about uniformity and conformity, the idea that if we look the same, we will maybe think and behave the same. I want to talk about my experience with that from the Army and kind of how that plays out in the military. And then I want to talk about how that plays out in the clinic with uniformity and conformity. So in the military, if you haven't noticed, people tend to wear the same thing. We all wear the same uniform. We dress the same way every day. Men wear their hair the same, clean shaven every day, hair off the ears, not touching the ears, short on top so that it doesn't come down over your forehead when it's long. Ideally, it fits under that patrol cap that we wear with our uniform every day. Basically, how my haircut is every single day of my life. And then women are to keep their hair up in a bun so that it fits under that cap, so that from far away, you would not be able to tell the difference between an enlisted soldier, an officer, a man, or a woman. We kind of all look the same. We even down to everybody wears a belt, even if you don't need a belt. Everybody tucks their pant leg into their boots, that sort of thing. So very, very uniform appearance. And kind of the thought process is that that is supposed to make us act and behave like these military robots, that we don't have any thoughts of our own, when that couldn't be further from the case. The reason we all wear the same uniform is for the reason I just described. So when you look from far away, you can't tell one soldier from another. You don't know who the general is. You don't know who the private is that's cleaning the latrines. You don't know who is a man, who is a woman, that sort of thing. We keep our faces clean shaven so that our gas masks can fit in case of a chemical attack. That's why men aren't allowed to have beards. So there's a purpose to that uniformity, but it is not conformity, contrarian to popular belief, I should say. And with that comes the idea that we don't want conformity, right? In the military, we are taught from day one in basic training to speak your mind. If you hear or find out about an unlawful order, it is your duty to oppose that unlawful order. If you have some sort of intelligence that would help out the mission, you are expected to speak up and say what you know to give the best possible outcome for a mission. In fact, we do not want little robot soldiers that all say, yes, sir, no, sir. We want folks who think on their own and who can act independently without orders or supervision from higher command. And that is the reason why we have the greatest military in America on earth. When you look at other militaries, say maybe a certain military that's not doing so well right now, maybe the Russian military, the biggest difference is that American soldiers think for themselves, as do most Western armies, and the rest of the armies of the world do not. They do have robot soldiers, and that doesn't go well when we actually encounter combat. When you are not able to think on your own, when you don't have your own independent thought, it doesn't go very well. So when we talk about uniformity in physical therapy, we're all picturing, for most of us, our worst nightmare, right? That solid colored polo, whatever your clinic colors are, red or blue or yellow or orange, tucked into a pair of Kmart khaki pants and maybe some old beat up running shoes or some loafers. That's kind of the standard physical therapist appearance, right? Unfortunately, that's the appearance that we see on a brochure, that we see on that TV ad for the PT clinic in town. And the idea there as well is that if we all look the same, perhaps we will all behave and treat the same. So I want to talk about, what does the research say about that, and what does actually doing that in practice look like? Going to the research, going to a lot of research for many, many, many decades now from the business side of the research house, it says that doesn't work. It says if we look at productivity, if we look at satisfaction with work, if we look at customer service satisfaction, what does all that research say about wearing a uniform, about everybody at a workplace looking and appearing the same? It would say that employees self-report that they feel more comfortable in business casual attire, and they feel most comfortable when they can self-select their own attire. Research would say that wearing business casual, or wearing whatever you want, what the research would call self-selected attire, has up to 0% impact on productivity. 0% impact on productivity. It has absolutely no difference on your productivity, up to a 60% boost in productivity if employees are allowed to self-select their attire. So when you are allowed to dress how you want, it does not impact your productivity at all, contrary to popular belief. And if anything, it actually makes you more productive, up to 60% more productive. Now, there is a caveat in some of this research that in folks who have to perform a specific function, the functional attire of that job is the best attire for that job. So if you are maybe a firefighter, you should probably wear your firefighting gear instead of jeans and a t-shirt, right? If you are a police officer, you should probably wear your bulletproof vest and carry your pistol and that sort of stuff. Again, it's probably not going to serve you very well if you're wearing joggers and a t-shirt and you're a police officer. But that being said, those of us who do not work in a first responder type domain, those of us who did not work in maybe a chemical plant or something like that, or the hospital where we might encounter some bodily fluids, those workplaces, it definitely behooves you to wear functional attire for that. So your scrubs, that sort of thing. But for most of us in the outpatient setting, the home health setting, private practice, it makes the most sense for our attire to be self-selected. And we have a big problem with this in physical therapy, that we can't just let this go. We can't just let people self-select their own attire. We're of the mindset that people will come in sports bra and clown pants or something like that, when that couldn't be further from the truth, right? When people are left to their own devices, they tend, for the most part, to wear comfortable clothing that's totally appropriate for the workplace. And our inability to let that go leads to a lot of problems, right? We believe that uniformity brings conformity, but it doesn't. We know that from practice. We know that from the scholarly research. And we know that we don't want conformity. We are physical therapists. We are supposed to be able to think on our own. When you're in that treatment room, it's just you. I don't know about you all, but I don't have a small platoon of people giving me advice on how I should treat my patient, right? I don't come out of the treatment room and have a war table of 4 or 5 people who are saying, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. Based on this, I think you should choose this treatment. It's just me. It's just me, baby. It's just me one-on-one. So when we talk about conformity, we don't want conformity of our physical therapists. We want independent thinkers who can treat and get patients better on their own without our oversight, without our micromanagement. And that can be hard for some of us who are used to routine, who are used to that uniformity and conformity, to let that go. But we absolutely need to get comfortable letting it go. And I would argue we do have a functional uniform, and it's probably going to be workout clothes, right? If we're truly being fitness forward physical therapists, we're all day long, we're showing people how to squat, how to deadlift, how to do pull-ups, how to do kettlebell swings, how to ride the bike, how to use the rowing machine, maybe even how to improve their running form. And that's all really tough to do in those Kmart Dockers in that tucked in polo. It's really awkward if you're still that person that wears a tie every day and you're working on somebody's neck and your tie is kind of flopping in their face. Nobody likes that, right? So ditch that tie and change it, right? See what happens. Give it a week. Say, hey, next week I want everybody to wear what they want to work, and see what they wear. I think you'll be surprised that, first of all, no one shows up in an inappropriate attire, right? Nobody's going to show up in a bathing suit or something ridiculous like that. People are smart. We're all doctors. We tend to know what we should wear and what we should not, what's appropriate for work and what's not. And as a practice owner myself, I struggled with this when we first opened the doors of self-selected attire. And my concern was not that our therapists would dress inappropriately. It was that patient perception of what therapists were wearing would be an issue. And I can tell you now, after almost 5 years of being a private practice owner, I have not received one complaint or one piece of feedback that the therapists here dress inappropriately, that the business attire here is too casual. Patients are happy with their care. They're coming in, they're getting better, they're crushing their goals, they're getting hooked on fitness, they're reducing their pain, they're getting everything they wanted out of physical therapy and more. And that means they don't care about what the therapist happens to be wearing. Not once has somebody sent an email, left a piece of feedback, grabbed me in person or anything like that and told me that they think our therapists dress too casually, right? We wear, in the winter, we wear workout pants and a t-shirt, maybe a sweater. And in the summer, we wear shorts and a t-shirt because it's hot, especially over in the gym. So let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Free your mind of that. If you're thinking about opening a practice, think about self-selected attire. If you currently own a practice, try it out. Try it out for a week. Try it out for a month. Give your folks a chance to make the right decision. Make sure we're giving them the autonomy, and know that the research supports that employee satisfaction is going to go up. Customer satisfaction is going to go up. Productivity is going to go up, all by just letting people dress however they want. How easy of a change is that? You don't have to do anything. And your people have all the more satisfaction in the world by picking their own uniform. So uniformity, does it bring conformity? No. The research would say no. Anecdotally, we would say no. So try it out. Give it a chance. Know that the research is on your side. If you're arguing for this decision and maybe you're not in charge of your clinic and you're trying to bring it up to the folks at a higher level. So bring this research to them, have a conversation about it, see how it goes. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that satisfaction and productivity go up and no one has anything negative to say on the contrary. So uniformity and conformity. I hope this helped. I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday. Happy to hear any discussion you all have about this. If you're going to be out there at an ice course this weekend, I believe Christina and Samantha are up in Grand Forks, North Dakota for Older Adult Live. So have fun at that course. We'll see you all next week. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.